Hi, welcome to Jadekind Gaming. My name is Adam, and today I'm here with just Ryan. We're here for session 1 of the Order of Heroes Mutants and Masterminds campaign. We are still learning this game, but this is going to be interspersed occasionally. I'll record these as I go. And they'll just fill in some extra weeks to add extra content in addition to the normal campaign I'm running of D&D. So we'll just be adding these as additional videos on the off weeks for that campaign. Because we sat around and decided, gee, it'd be fun to play more role-playing games.
Yeah.
And so we are. There's a session 0 video. You can check that out. As far as setting up the idea of how this is running and why currently there's only one player, but that will change who's the player and who's involved in the story as things progress. For now, let's throw things around the table. Let's begin. And we are going to begin on Thursday, May 24th of 2001, at the Grand Canyon Elementary in Grand Canyon Village, Arizona. Karl Newton.
Yes.
You are 12. It is the penultimate day of your 6th grade, and you're sitting and finishing up a math test. And the bell rings. It's time for PE. You're in a class of about 20 people, and people start getting up, putting their tests on the teacher's desk, and heading out the door.
I'm going to burst out and get into the hallway. I'm going to PE.
As you gather things up from your desk, your pencil falls to the ground.
Go get it.
And it's like it's stuck there. Like it physically, you reach and your fingers just slide off of it.
I got Nick fingers now. No.
Class is starting to leave around you.
I'm try to push it.
It does not move.
Look in my bag. Do I get like a compass or a protractor or something? I'm gonna try to stab at it.
Yeah, you probably
Try to pry it up like it's stuck.
You stick your protractor to it, and the protractor forces its way of your hand into the ground as well. Now it's stuck there. It's some sort of glue or something on the...
I go to the front of the class and try to get the teacher's attention.
Yes?
There's something wrong with the floor. I dropped my stuff and I can't get it up. Could you help me?
What would I ask for like a persuasion check? I don't know the system. We're still learning the system.
Persuasion. It's on.
The persuasion. Great. That's perfect. You could actually make a
4.
You can pick it up on your own and get to your next class. And do you have your test?
Do I?
Yeah. And she goes down to reading through what she's, grading papers as they're coming in.
So the protractor and the pencil stuck. I'm going to see if I can stick a desk to the floor. Move the desk and put it on top of the spot.
It doesn't seem to... Yeah.
Pick it up and move it around. Okay.
You're kind of gaining her attention as you're sliding desks around over.
Hey.
Don't be late.
I might have to leave this here.
Just take your things and go. She says, still distracted by...
Well, if I can't get it up, I'll just leave it and go to my next class.
Very well. So you move on, joining the rest of your class. As being a small school, it's about 20 of you, or it's 20 of you in your class, and your classes are all the same. You stick with the same group for each class, as there is only that many people in your grade. So you get to PE. Last to arrive there, just time to change to gym clothes, stretch, do some warm-ups. And as you're doing so, the instructor there is setting up for a pacer test, a beep test.
Okay.
If you recall from so long ago in life.
So we're going to be running back and forth.
Yep. And they're doing it in half as they're doing this inside the gymnasium. And so the first half of the class sort of does their back and forth as the other 10 of you are off sitting to the side, kind of waiting, stretching, being ready, whatever. Got a few classmates around to hang out with while you wait, or?
Yeah. Go and chill them, see what they've been playing.
2001.
Yeah, you guys been playing Super Smash Brothers?
For the N64.
Yeah.
No.
Melee came out in 2001. So the GameCube. I get GameCube games. You've been playing Luigi's Mansion, man?
Because we're in May of... Actually, when did it come out? Nah. My brother's got it, but he doesn't let me near his stuff.
It's lame.
Whatever. It's cool, though. I've seen him playing it.
I've got a second controller. We can hang out sometime.
Yeah, that'd be a nice thing. Gonna be break soon, so one more day. It's the celebration tomorrow, and then we get the summer.
Yeah, we'll play out that. What character would you want to play? You like Kirby?
I've not played, but yeah, sure, Kirby.
Alright, I'm gonna Falcon Punch you.
Be nice.
Get on.
Level 3. Beep. Beep. After a little time and eventually dwindling down to the last of that group being rated, the other half gets up to go to your pacer.
Alright, run time.
And let's do athletics check as you...
What base stat does that use?
Does it say?
No.
No? I don't think it is, but we'll call it a stamina for this one at least, because that makes more sense for the pacer.
Alright, so we're doing long term.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the idea, is because it's...
All
well, you gotta pace yourself. It's literally part of the name.
Well, what's my youth penalty?
I don't know, what do you think? You don't have your powers at this point, but anything for that's really up to where you think you are.
So I get like an 11.
11? Yeah, you make it through a few levels, and you're definitely starting to... you get to the end, and you're just barely having time to turn and make it to the next... starting to wear yourself out, and you get to one end, and you make it there on time, but before you can turn around, you just collapse to the ground. You can't...
Got a nice sheen.
It is as if you have just become stone, as if Kirby has just become a rock and fallen to the ground. You cannot get up. You can't even lift or turn your head. And as you fall, you hear something behind you fall as well. Someone behind you fall as well. And as the group is... And you still hear that beep. And the teacher stops the the thing and is basically rushing over to reach you.
Just like looking up.
And you see in front of you your PE instructor getting near and collapsing to the ground, and a look of terror in his eyes as he's pushing against the ground. And he's telling students, get help, call the nurse. And your heart just keeps pounding until you black out. You hear your father's voice. He's talking, seemingly about probably what just happened. You come to consciousness, and you are in the nurse's office. You look around, and there's no one around. There is another empty cot next to where you're laid, and you hear from outside of the office itself, just through the door, you hear the nurse discussing things with your father.
I listen in for a moment.
They're talking, trying to describe about what had just happened. Little concern as far as, is there something going on in the school? It was several of you, but you left out, and it seems that the others have already become fine, and they were able to lift you and bring you here, but you lost consciousness. Neither of the others had done so. They're thinking, they've checked, and you didn't have any bruises. The PE teacher says that they tripped over you. You don't recall that. But
yeah, because I didn't feel that.
You didn't feel that.
Dad?
But yes, you're up. And he kind of walks into the room as the nurse stands at the door.
So what happened?
You seem to work the hardest in PE. A bit harder than you could manage, it seems, but gave it your all. How you feeling?
How am I feeling?
Normal. A little concerned, probably, but nothing quite unusual as far as that.
I'm just a bit confused. I don't know what went on.
Well, you've missed the last couple of your classes. We've talked about it. They'll be able to send the tests home and probably just have you stay home tomorrow from the celebration. We'll get you some time to fill those out this evening, and I can bring them up there on my way to work tomorrow. So they're just going to let you do that. Get you home. Get you some rest. Want to pick up something to eat on the way?
Yeah.
Well, if you need to go gather your things, I'm going to go over a few more things with the nurse, just make sure everything was okay.
Dad, something weird happened earlier.
Yeah?
When I was in my class before I went to PE, I dropped my pencil on the ground and I couldn't pick it up. And then when I couldn't pick it up, I tried to scrape it up with my protractor, and the protractor also got stuck on the ground. I tried to tell the teacher about it, but she told me just to get going. She didn't want to help me pick it up.
Very well. But yes, go gather your things, and I'll meet you back here.
Okay.
He starts talking to the nurse. You go, probably puts, gather the rest of your things out of your locker, as we'll be skipping tomorrow, and therefore won't be back until after summer vacation.
Is the classroom that I left, is that open?
The classroom where the pencil had fallen to the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, you stop by the room, and the teacher is still in there grading some things, but it seems that they have a free period.
Is my stuff still on the ground?
You look in and it is not.
I can go ahead and ask the teacher Do you got my pencil and protractor?
Yes, I did notice you left those. Opens the drawer and hands them back to you. I heard about PE. I hope you feel better.
Thanks. I'll go ahead and just pack that away and go meet up with Dad.
Mm-hmm. He'll go out of the office, sign you out. He has a bag with papers in it. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. And kind of leads you out to the car. Picking up pizza.
Burgers and shakes.
If you'd prefer.
Yeah.
Going by a steak and shake, I guess.
Or whatever they have in Arizona.
I mean, I feel like they have steak and shake everywhere.
Yeah, but whatever they have over there.
Otherwise, yeah, you're able to have the evening. You sit in the living room as you do your last couple of tests and packs those up. Otherwise, evening at home, definitely some conversation between your parents once your mother's home as well. But you know they're talking about what happened, but they're talking about it in a way that they're not wanting you to hear.
Mm.
Otherwise, trying to be encouraging to you. You get your break a day early.
Thinking about how we were talking about Kirby and Smash Bros. And how it felt like I turned to stone and playing around with the game. And it's like, I don't know. Is it something like that? Could I learn to do the Falcon Punch?
But you're sent to bed, and sleep finds you easy. So, while much went on, it was also an exhausting day.
Sleep well.
Your mother wakes you up in the morning. Hey, get ready. We have a visitor coming to see you, it turns out.
Who is it?
One of my colleagues. He knows quite a bit. He wants to hear about what happened yesterday.
Alright. I'll go ahead and brush my teeth.
You don't need to roll for it. You accomplish toothbrushing with no further complications. You're strong enough to hold the tooth. Do I need to roll?
But do I have the dexterity for it?
At this point in life, yes.
Okay.
You get ready and you go down. Your father has already left for work, presumably having taken in your tests. And your mother is in the kitchen while there is a man in sort of a white lab coat sitting in your living room.
Yeah, peeking sidelong glance, but
Kind of looks over. Oh my! How you've grown! You won't remember me. But I met you when you were just an infant. I've been a colleague of your mother's for a very long time. I'm Dr. Adam. So, your mother's making breakfast. I'll let you get to that. But think about it. I'm going to want to hear a bit about yesterday. I've heard from your parents' point of view, but you were the one that was there, so I'd love to hear it from you, and we'll see if we can keep that from happening again, or
okay, I go.
Whatever was it?
Go into the kitchen.
Yeah. Mother's in there, cooking some eggs, bacon, toast.
No. Get out the marmalade.
Isn't this nice? She fixes a plate, and she'll sit at the table with you and just have a pleasant breakfast while you know full well her colleague is like just sitting in the living room. You can kind of peek around the bed, and he's reading from some book.
So what's he want, Ma?
Well, he's done research on things for a while. I think he wants to try and figure out what happened. You fell to the ground and you couldn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be a large health concern.
Is he a doctor?
Yes. Not strictly medical. I believe he has a couple of doctorates, but he was on my space trip.
Well, I probably would have watched it even if I might not recognize all the members of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. But the pencil and protractor as well fell to the ground.
yeah. I couldn't get him up. It was weird. I tried to, even scrape it up, but I wanted the teacher to try because I figured she was stronger, but...
I mean, yeah, that's for her, but...
It stopped, though. After I came back for them, apparently she was able to pick them up just fine.
Yes. Anyways. Yep, and, I want you to try and cooperate with Dr. Atom. He's definitely further in that field than I, so...
Okay. Let's see what he wants.
And he will. He'll sit down and gather details just the same. He'll ask then if he can see the pencil and protractor. He's
No.
examining those. There's nothing unusual about them.
No, I tried putting a desk on it, and the desk didn't get stuck.
But the teacher didn't seem to have any problem picking them up once he'd left.
No, but that was after gym class.
Yeah, and gets details on that. Do some things. He'll hook up, take pulse. He'll, basically pulls up things and does a number of things, and he's basically sets up also to do another pacer out in the yard. Basically measuring all your pulse and all your weights beforehand, and then tries to recreate the situation.
While he's setting that up for the test, I start thinking about how Captain Falcon can dash super fast back and forth across the stages, and it's maybe if I visualize it, I can think of something and do something like that.
But he'll get things set up, and you can make another athletics check for
Stamina
athletics, yeah.
15.
Definitely. You get further this time until you can't quite get to the numbers. You can't quite make it to the line in time, but no issue repeats. You're able to finish up as far as you could do this time, doing obviously better than before as without the sudden stop. And he'll retake all your vitals, and he pulls out some notes. And you gather from glancing kind of over his shoulder that he has vitals and pulse and such from what the nurse took when you'd blacked out. It doesn't seem to be anything that is necessarily caused by the strenuous activity. I mean, was it just a fluke? Were they a coincidence? I don't know. But I would continue to like to do research on this. And he takes out a card that has sort of his office number on, and he writes down phone number, and that's my home number as well. If anything happens, and feel free to report it to your mother and pass it along, but if ever something that seems like this happens and you'd rather not go through her or your father, as a doctor, at least report it along that I can try and keep record. if it happens, if it's a fluke and it's done, then wonderful. And yesterday was a wild day and weird, but hopefully that's all that comes of it. But if not, we want to continue to work on this and figure it out. Figure it out while we can. And he'll leave you alone with still much of your day free to enjoy some video games and relax easy enough.
Yep. I get.
And it's a long time, and it's a while before
Better time.
you have issues again. But it wasn't a fluke. It does happen again. And in the years that follow, after probably another year, you rarely go more than a couple of months without seeing Dr. Adam. He and your mother approach this problem, occurrence, things seeming to be weight and gravity, something that is pulling you down to the planet, or things in your immediate vicinity. They approach that issue with a desire to fix or to learn about it. Your father, on the other hand, seems much more keen to work to hide it. And he helps you find ways to do so. Little lies to tell when you collapse. You know, perhaps a heart issue that you've told people you have, and just simple ways that you can, at the very least, avoid the socially embarrassing situations that you find yourself in when something simple like a pencil does pull itself out of your grasp. You learn just to ignore it and move on, because it's simply not worth the effort. But the difference in how your parents want to deal with your problem does cause arguments, and it hinders their relationship. And a couple months after you graduate from high school, your parents separate. Your father moves to Boulder City, Nevada. Bit of a distance away, but no longer comfortable working in the same office for the same facility as your mother, and likewise Dr. Adam. He gets work in and around Hoover Dam. You, however, move straight from high school into an associate's program, along with part-time work at the research facility that is headed up now by Dr. Adam. Dr. Adam Atom. As much preparing other research as being a subject of research yourself, which at this point in your life just seems pretty normal. You're very used to the tests and trying to do things, and much as your childhood mind thought, could I control this? Could I do a falcon punch? Could I turn, after a certain point, that is not against what they're trying to do. It's like, as much as if we can figure out this, can we also figure out a way that you can control this? That is absolutely something that they're willing to work towards a goal of, because learning and pushing forward with the research seems more to matter to them, and if getting you interested in it and seeing what can come of it is equally as entertaining, as valuable to them. So, and after getting your associate's degree in July of 2009, your work there becomes full-time. Training and preparing for a trip to the International Space Station to do follow-up research from the 1988 trip that he was on with your mother to research the effects of space travel on fetal development on the space station Freedom while she was pregnant with you. And they will be doing that as the International Space Station passes near the same point where what was referenced in their notes as the disturbance was first observed. Something that disturbed the station while they passed by when your mother was doing the research, pregnant with you. On Tuesday, February 16th of 2010, you and Dr. Adam take a flight headed to Samara, Russia, where your work and preparation will continue for the next couple of months. You take the flight in, and you have basically a couple of extended stay hotel rooms where you have, enough privacy for your own space, but basically going into either a research office or at times to basically to their space program work to do basic training that you'll need to know enough to be a passenger on a Soyuz rocket.
Yes. And
enough acclimatation to not make sure that you will be stable once you're out in space. So, but it's pretty lonely. It's a pretty lonely couple of months, as for the most part, at least to any fluency, Dr. Adam and his associate, who you meet once you're there, Dr. Igor Ivanov, are just about the only couple of people who speak your language. And even they often converse in Russian much of the time when they're in the lab doing work. Though you do have a bit of time, free time on the weekends there, if you have any efforts to do while you are in Russia for several months, whether you choose to isolate or try and adapt or...
I'll make use of the facilities if I'm trying to figure out the deal with the gravimetric disturbances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just get to work.
Yeah, so you just basically take your free time into more work. Whether you recognize it or not, that is very much a trait that you seem to have picked up from your mother and from Dr. Adam, of just funneling free time into work. On Friday, April 16th, 2010, you, along with both of the doctors, load into a Soyuz rocket for ascent to the International Space Station. And it is an astonishing experience. It's definitely a good deal of, it's a good deal. You load up, you wait, and you're a lot of waiting there, and a lot of anxiety, and then going up into space, and then there's a point where basically things are all calculating just right, and you're largely waiting for the point where you're then docking with the space station. And it's very much you sitting in this tiny capsule with, 4 other people. 2 others are largely passengers like yourself, waiting for this to dock with the space station. And you have a few days. You're doing some tests each day, but you have days here you're going through. Handful of Russian astronauts. Yeah, definitely lots of time, as much distracted with your research as with, the interest of the environment that you're now in.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you particularly want to try or look into while in the first couple of days?
I'm definitely going to be playing with zero-G objects. That's something that I'm going to be messing with.
Mm. Definitely falls in line with a lot of your powers. You want to make... No, it's intellect. I don't know. You have science. You have science?
Yeah.
Yeah, science is perfect. Yeah, it's science. Make a science check.
14.
Sorry, a little concept for what numbers mean in this system compared to definition. Right down in that section. Let's go to the Game Masters section. There we go. Difficulty class. Yeah, I mean, you're able to observe a lot. You're not able to necessarily recreate any of the effects that you've already been saying. But I mean, even those are sometimes months between occurrences, and you still don't have great control over when they happen, though you've probably by this point gotten more used to quickly ending them, working through that. Warning often when objects would fall, that if you walk away, once it's no longer right near you, someone else can pick it up, or if you go back after a little time, you can pick it up. It's a proximity thing.
Mm.
But you're not seeing anything like that, but definitely still of doing some of the, probably some research that you've had and repeating some of the more fundamental observations that have been had in 0G, and just sort of proving them for yourself of this is what happens, and be like, yes,
Yeah.
yes it is. But also you're working with the doctors as they are setting up the new Democritus module, which was sent up a month earlier, and was basically developed in part to do the research that you're here to do, but also likewise adjusting to space life. And you have 3 days of that. And on the morning of Tuesday, April 20th, 2010, you get through your morning routine, having to do things, making sure you do your stretches and exercises each day, that you don't... things that you have to think to deliberately do rather than just have come natural. And after your day's started and you're into the module for research, you are strapped down and slid into an MRI machine that is part of the module. They're doing a series of tests and following research, again, trying to recreate some things, and definitely an enclosed and loud environment in the midst of it.
I ask them if they can be done with this quickly.
You're familiar with it, and they'll get through as quickly as they can, but mid-test, you feel like the room has lurched. You feel it within you, and you hear some concern comments in Russian from outside the machine. They go through another pass, continuing on, and...
Can I get out yet?
The room lurches again. Yeah, probably in a moment. We're gonna go check on this. The doctors pause the test partway through, and you can hear that they've left the room. You're going to check on things and return, and probably a minute later, you strapped down, stuck in this enclosed space. You are painfully pulled against your restraints, and you know that the station is being pulled in odd ways as alarms begin to sound. And short moments after, the doctors return in a panic. Dr. Adam quickly pulls you out. Yeah. And he begins to unstrap you from the restraints that are holding you down on that when you lurch up against them in the middle of it. Dr. Ivanov says something in Russian. Dr. Adam turns away from you and replies angrily in Russian as well. Turns back to continue releasing you before realizing that Dr. Ivanov is stepping out of the module, sealing it, and ejecting the module from the station. As you are, at this point, half removed enough that your upper body, you can sit up to remove the straps from your feet, start working on that. The module, which is now separated from the station, all of a sudden lurches as you lurch, pulling up, your legs twisting, as they're still attached to the side of the station, and this module is pulled. You can see through the small port window, or small side window for the capsule.
I try to hold on to one of the straps.
Yeah, you grab hold and you're lurching around the module. You hear something smash. You look out and you see one of the port photovoltaic arrays is been smashed through as you are now hurtling away from the International Space Station in your little capsule. Dr. Adam is quickly doing things on one of the computer systems in there, monitoring something. Speaking, but mumbling, not clearly in a panic. And you manage to get yourself untied, but you're holding on, not knowing what's going. And as you kind of go into a panic, your breathing intensifies. Yeah. You notice that as you breathe, so does the capsule. As you breathe in and out, the metal of the capsule is starting to contract and stretch with your breathing.
Hold my breath.
It stops.
Blow.
And as you blow, it doesn't seem so much to affect it. When you're in control of your breath, it seems less affected. And then the capsule tears open. Dr. Adam is sucked out, you grabbing onto the restraints that you're already holding onto, freaked out, but...
See if I can grab at him.
And as you reach forward to grab at him, your hand passes through a dark shadow. As a strange, large, dark phantom being enters the capsule. As Dr. Adam is pushed off behind him, and the capsule bends and the metal seals around, leaving this phantom figure, large, vaguely humanoid in shape, in the capsule. And as your arm has passed through him, you have flashes of memory. You see groups of people, strangely dressed, but in discussions, arguments. You see strange and fantastic research laboratories. You see what seems to be stars held in point in a machine. And then your Dungeon Master has to look up how the next thing works, because it's technically combat bit. Okay. Okay, so I'm guessing I roll my d20, and I add the ability number. No, I add my skill, so it would be a total of 16, which would be versus the difficulty class. As he is basically taking a chunk of machine, or a loose bit of machine from everything that's been, and he is telekinetically trying to slam that into you with his damaging telekinesis. Let's move object. There we go. Effective strength. So yeah, that would be that, and then it would be
mass of the object, and then that would give you your distance. And
okay, so mass of object would probably be like a 0. Would be the rank for that.
So yeah, you take the 0 minus whatever his move object rank is. And
okay, so 8. So he has 8, and then so that would be...
he would have 8 strength for the attack, and what the object dealt as damage, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, how do we figure out damage? Because it's degrees of success. So what is his target going to be? It's going to be dodge against your dodge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your dodge?
11.
11.
And I can't remember. I think it's 15 plus my dodge is the DC that he has to meet. Because it's something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like 10, you add like 10 or 15 to different things depending.
Here, just okay, so I found action and adventure. That's the chapter. Attack, d20 plus attack bonus versus defense class. Damage. Okay, so hit. Successful attack with a damage effect requires target to make a toughness resistance check. Damage rank. Where did I get my... Okay, so that makes... Okay, so the 11 plus the 5 for energy control means it's above your dodge, so it hits. Then my total, the damage rank is going to be based on my move object minus the mass, so 8, plus the 15, which is the base at that point, versus your toughness roll. So you need, or not, toughness. Or is it a roll, or is it just a base? Successful attack with the damage requires target make a toughness resistance check. So you make a toughness resistance check. Seeing if you have anything that isn't a power that would add to that.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
Learning combat.
Yep. Yeah. One.
Yeah. And then you add
4.
4 or
just be stamina. I don't have that.
Oh, because that's from that. Okay, so you have a total of 5 versus what would be 15, 8, so 20 something, only 23. So 22 over would be 4 degrees of success?
Yeah, if it's whatever, 20 over, that'd be for every 5.
Right, because 15 plus 8 would be what it would be, right? I don't feel like that necessarily is right. Because...
Yeah, I'd say it's a damaging thing, so I think it only gets the 10 plus thing. Let's see.
Yeah, because that feels like that would make it where lighter objects would do more damage, which doesn't make sense. Move object.
And I didn't get like a resistance check, I think. Because you have to hit, and then I get a resistance check, and then...
Yeah, damage resistance. That's your toughness versus the damage rank. That's what that was.
Yeah. No. There's also dodge resistance, too, I think.
What is the... And if you've played the game, we'll probably have played a few sessions by the time this is actually uploaded, but feel free to make comments, because we've watched videos and we've worked on it, but we are obviously still figuring this out.
One of the uses is defense class, or the difficulty class to affect targets with a particular attack. This is appropriate defense plus 10.
Okay.
So you need
Defenses is defense plus 10.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
you have to make a 21 in order to hit me.
Okay, so we're taking that step back that he didn't even hit you with that. Okay. Because you got plus 10 to that. Okay. Well, good. Because that would have really hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm still not sure we're doing that other part right, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, big chunk of machine slams by and you sort of dodge across the room as you come out of your flashes of memory and choose one of your energy control abilities.
One of the ones that's part of my array?
Yeah. That you are getting access to now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's make sure I'm clear.
Yeah. I guess move object would be the most useful right now.
Sure. So, you currently have that. This is still new to you. You are at -5 to using your powers.
Okay.
There's basically the everything working against you, -5 penalty is applying, which I think basically equals out as far as your energy control roll. So, other than that, you now have that ability. As you see him do that, you see these flashes come through your mind, and something just clicks that you're able to push through and do that. And I think we probably need an initiative.
Alright. 8.
What do I add to
Agility?
Agility? 13. So... because it's more fun to use the other one and to try it, he's going to try and gravity blast at you. Which means that I make a d20 plus my energy control is 20, but that's not enough to hit you, right?
Right.
So this blast of energy of just things pulling out or in, just you can just see the air reaching out from this phantom hand, zooms across, and you dodge out of the way as it punches a hole in the side of the ship, and as it does, you see space for a moment as it wraps itself around and ties itself back together on the other end.
Okay. I want to use...
And I want to make a note here, because I think I have a note somewhere that might be relevant to you.
I want to try to do the same thing, but instead of attacking him, I'm going to try to attack the area where the Phantom is standing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say it, but I'm pretty sure this is like a 10 by 15 room to kind of paint the picture of the small environment that you're in.
Mm-hmm. So I'll grab something off the MRI machine or...
There's computers and there are things around.
Yeah.
There are...
Yeah, I'm going to try to throw that through where he's standing.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. But I get a -5.
Which means you just get your die rollies.
Yep. So, 3.
Yeah, you're still figuring it out, and you move the thing. You've definitely gotten that, but it does not hit near where you hit some other wall. And then that puts it over to him as basically using movement is moot with this small environment. And he'll throw another gravity blast towards you. 19. Is your dodge that good, or is that also coming from something that you don't have yet?
Yeah, I got enhanced defenses. It's part of energy shield, so that's 5.
So it's 5. So I'm targeting
6. So that'd be
16.
16. Yeah.
Okay, then some of those probably should have hit.
Oh.
Probably the last one. I think the first one was just under that, but yeah. Anyways, I was like, wait. It's like just looking over at what his dodge is and what yours. I'm like, you have the same number of points. That feels like a very high value. Okay, so we're turning 16, so 19 would make it. So he hits out another one of those gravity blasts, which that one is more straightforward understanding, which means that you need a toughness check.
Right. So I get a 12.
12 versus his is 12 plus 15,
Right.
so 15.
11.
So 27 is what you're against. So you got 11.
Mm-hmm.
So 27 is 16 over, which is 3 degrees of success. You are staggered. Eventually we'll remember what these do, but at this point... Oh yeah, it might be a near little quick reference.
Dazed and hindered.
Dazed and hindered mean...
May only take a standard action and movements reduced by 1. Or, no. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so pretty normal for this small of environment anyways.
Can't move fast and only can take a
It
single
has a -1 circumstance penalty to further checks against damage. So you have a -1 penalty on that.
Right.
And if you are staggered again, you'll go further. So 2 staggers will knock you out. So this ripping ball of energy seems to pull through you. And it doesn't punch a hole through you like it did the side of the wall, though it does rip through the suit that you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, pulling it apart and knitting it back together wrong as it stretches things apart and pulls them back together and kind of spins you around in a circle and leaves you now upside down comparative to him as you're floating there and feeling just bruised and a little wet, maybe blood underneath the suit that is now tattered and held together in a weird way. Newton?
Yeah. I continued to try to attack with the only thing that...
And looking here, you notice you'd aimed for his feet, but his feet aren't really touching the ground. He is also likewise floating in space as he moves around in this capsule.
I want to see if I can try to move the entire capsule. Maybe if he's like a phantom, maybe I can move it fast enough to get away from him.
Okay. We're gonna rank the capsule at 7 for mass.
Okay.
Assuming mass is what we're using for...
Yeah. That makes sense to me. So, 3 tons.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll do that. I'm gonna try to use my move object to move away. So if it is mass 7, and my rank for move object is 12, I would get 5 on the distance that I can move, so I can move 900 feet. Something like that.
So strength rank minus mass. That's starting distance. You can move objects at a distance without touching them. Effective strength for lifting objects with this effect is equal to your rank. By taking a move action to concentrate, you can increase this by +1 strength. Okay, so we're looking at strength to move things is what we're... I guess... Yeah, okay, so I guess, yes, you are attempting to throw the capsule.
Yeah.
So, strength, 11, minus mass, 7, would be that, so, would be what, 4? Which...
No, it's 5.
11...
No, it's 12 minus 7 is 5.
Oh, it's 12, not 11? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where my math was wrong. It's like, no, 11 minus 7 is definitely 4. Oh, it's not an 11. That's why I was wrong.
Yeah.
So distance of 900 feet. Okay. So you...
Yeah, I'm going to try to fling the capsule away from the Phantom.
And you're just tumbling out, and it does. It passes right through him.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so now I've got to throw pilot this thing around to get away from the ghost creature.
Let's see what we can get. Permanent pass through matter. Yeah. So, how far can ranged damage go?
Oh.
Which is actually just damage, and then ranged is a modifier to it.
Yeah.
But not a modifier specific to it, one of the general modifiers. No, maybe not.
I think it's rank times 25 feet.
Rank times 25 feet?
That'd be my guess, based off what extended range it's telling me.
Extended range, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Or
one rank in
increased
extended range doubles.
Fix have a standard range, personal, close ranged, or perception. See range at start. Choose one of the following options. Ranged. Applied to a close effect, this modifier makes it a ranged effect. Okay, I feel like there's probably generalized rules here. Range. An attack has one of these ranges. Close, ranged, Perception. A close attack can only affect the target you can physically reach. A ranged attack can affect the target at a distance. A ranged attack that has short range up to its rank times 25 feet, at which it has no penalties. A medium range. Long range. Okay, I get it. Okay. Has a short range, rank times 25 feet, at which it has no penalties. Medium range to rank times 50 feet, at which it has a -2, or rank times 100 feet, at which it has a -5. Okay. So then we go with your what? 900 feet?
Yes.
Thrown through space.
Waff.
I don't know if that's how that works, but okay. Actually, that's even easier. As he gets ready to blast through the thing. No, this one's actually easier than that. So you're spinning through there, and he grabs it and pulls it 60 feet closer to him, but his is damaging. So now he's just slamming you about inside of the capsule. Which would be move, which would be a range, which would be at attack. 8 is not enough to cause any damage, but you are pulled in another direction, which you are now still stunned, is I think the word. You have no visibility on the Phantom, no visibility on the space station, and you are very rocketed and buffeted around. What do you try and do in your turn?
In my turn, so I flung myself one way and then I got yanked back a different way.
Yeah.
I'm going to just continue to try to go back in the direction that I flung myself away. So I'm going to continue to fling myself in the capsule in the direction away from the reverse pole.
Do you need a roll for that? Where I'm...
For a moving object? I don't think so. Because it's not attempting to affect another dude. I don't know if we end up getting into like a move
contested as now he's also holding the same object.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you try and now move it while he's holding it, I guess that would be contested.
Yeah, so do we make like opposed strength checks against each other now?
Yes, sure. That's how this works. I'm positive of it. That'd be opposed.
I got an 18. I think.
He has, so basically it's the move object plus that would be a 27.
Yeah, so he beats me.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I don't, yeah.
By a degree. That's not quite a second degree of success. So you stop it there.
But I'm not able to move it this turn.
No, you're not able. You basically just stop with your power, and he's still holding on to it. Likewise, I guess we'll do that again on his turn as he tries to pull it back, assuming you're still grabbing and trying to pull it the other way.
Okay.
I mean, presume you also have to roll.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, you beat him enough that he's also not able to pull it further forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to get away from him.
What are the odds I roll a 1 twice in a row?
Natural 20. I had +5 to my effect.
Yeah.
So I got 5 higher strength, I guess. What would that mean? I can move it 4 miles.
And you do.
Oof.
We're temporarily out of combat.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Sorry, I'm like, no, you move it 4 miles. Sure.
I'm in trouble.
You are now in a broken up module with a very limited supply of oxygen from the tanks that you have built into it. That literally is in more than one space, torn apart and stitched back together, where you know that even the oxygen you have probably is leaking more than it should be.
I look out the port to see if I can at least see where the planet is.
You see space.
Dang. I'd start... I know what I do. If I can see space, I can see the stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd start looking around at the stars to try to get my bearing as far as what direction I think that I'm facing, so I'll be able to get a rough idea of where the planet will be.
Mm-hmm. What skill would that be?
I got science expertise. That is my one skill that's related to that.
I'm gonna call it just a base. Yeah, well, at least let it be intelligence.
Okay, intelligence roll.
Yeah.
7.
It takes you some time trying to identify stars and figure out what it is. You come up with a plan and you formulate it. And as you might be close to it, the room seems to darken from behind you. You're kind of looking up at the little... at this point, I will say... we'll give you a minute for... So you've recovered from your staggered, though you still have your -1 toughness check.
Okay.
So, as he comes through, and will gravity blast through you again. 11 and is 16. Meat would be successful, right?
I don't know.
In normal D20.
Yeah, I think it means
yeah.
Meat or beat.
Yeah. So that would be successful. So you would need another toughness check, which you are at -1 to.
Right. So I get with that it'd just be that. So it would be 8.
8 versus 27 is 19.
So 3.
3.
Yeah.
Just 3. Just avoided the 4th. So you are staggered again. You have another -1.
Right.
And you have a turn.
Alright. I'm going to try to fling myself away again, since it's the one way I know that I can get away from this dude.
Hold on, because he is more aware of what's going on. And this game have reactions?
Yeah.
What? Does it have attacks of opportunity is basically what I am looking for.
I don't know about that.
Or the equivalent of... Because you are trying to leave his space now. So you basically would have to have something in order to give that. So there's probably an ability that would let you get that. So probably not.
Yeah, I think it's like specific.
All right.
Phew.
You go your, what, 900?
Yep, 900 feet.
What can I do with this? Sure. Resistance.
Do I have my advantages? Or do I not have those yet?
What are the advantages tied to power, or were they?
All out attack, power attack, extraordinary effort, and move by action.
Would probably have those at this point.
Alright.
Which means that what does his Die Hard do? Okay, so he does that, and he's... Oh, what can he do to... Can he just... You're gonna throw a blast at the thing. He, with a -5 of due to distance, right? Yes, that is right. You're 900 feet away.
Automatically stabilize without needing a roll.
Okay. So... -5. So yeah, that's... How big is the thing? Yeah, that's still gonna miss it. So, you have a moment after you've bounced yourself around.
Is he still trying to grab on?
You've not felt that. You're not sure what's... You know, you've thrown yourself again and you didn't feel it worked back the other way, though, now.
Okay, I'm going to make as best of a guess that I can to try to start heading towards Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to fling myself again.
Okay. That I will let you do a science check for this time.
Okay. 14.
14. And you throw yourself... the, 900 feet towards it. So what is, when he's resisting, is he's like built up like it's like an elastic band, and that's why you went further? I'm just like, why did he go? That makes no sense. We're doing something wrong. Whatever. It's fun.
Yeah.
You buffet yourself around more, and you can see the planet now, though you did not throw yourself at it.
Okay, I can I at least now have a general direction that I can head in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'll start doing.
And start pushing yourself and just keep moving. And your movement is faster than his, although you are battered and bruised, as every time you do this, you're basically throwing yourself around within this.
Oh. Well, what's going to be the trouble is trying to get myself back through the atmosphere safely.
So that'll happen. Did not go how expected. I'm like, ha ha ha. He's immune to your powers and you're not to his. He cannot lose. Oh, you're running. Oh. Unforeseen. But yeah, you managed to get yourself to, and yeah, all of a sudden you get to the point, you know, you are now in between your bursts, you notice you are still heading towards the planet. You've now entered its gravity field.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm going to have to start going in the other direction to make sure that I'm descend slow enough that I don't kill myself.
And you hear the roaring of the capsule around you. Things begin to shake.
I guess I have to find a way that I can sort of see outside.
One of the sections where there's the tear is like shaking and starting to pull itself apart, where it was.
I do my best to try to keep everything held together.
Make a power check with that.
No. I rolled 19.
And you currently at no bonus. So yeah, you're able to hold things together as it's being shaken. Keep holding two things, watching on oxygen that is much lower than you would like at this point, but you're still breathing as they're through the little window. You see, you know.
I spend my hero point to help me out.
What does that do?
No. I could use it for extra effort.
What am I saying? I'm going to just look at. Bonus. Using hero points. Heroic feat, improve roll, inspiration, and counter recover edits.
There's an option to edit the scene.
You can find like that there was a spare oxygen tank that you could swap it over to no longer have that be a.
Yeah.
You're able to switch it over to the reserve, and you're at least not losing consciousness from oxygen.
And it'll allow me to focus on making sure everything stays together, and I don't burn up.
And as the air around the capsule is starting to glow, you see, the coastline of the southern coast of the United States. So you're plummeting down, holding this together, and
aim for the water.
And yeah, you're able to just gear it into the Gulf of Mexico. And at times you're pulling up to reduce the how much you're going through, and with that, still a deafening thud as you smash through the water, and it jerks you up to the top of the thing, and you jostle around and settle on the bottom of this as it's just plummeting down, and something jostles, and you collided with something large and just kept pushing through it. Whatever, you just smashed through something under the water and down into the darkness. Well, I can cross off the line that says oxygen is low, fade to darkness, because that's not happening now. And as you're down there, under the waves, there's a point where you don't feel a crash, as you are now a heavy. You're basically a submarine because you're full of air, but you're also very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to almost get a point deep in the ocean where it kind of settles on itself, where its buoyancy of the air is finally.
I'll have to figure out a way to try to move myself.
And you have more flashes in your brain, more scenes, more unusual things. You see this being, this creature, a large man, a 9-foot tall brick of a man before being a shadow. You see flashes, influence he has over people. Great, almost alien or fantasy attire on these societies as he's talking to people, talking to consuls, convincing people, gathering, following, doing work, doing science. He's doing things fantastic, but very similar to the things that you have worked on. And he's seeking a source of infinite energy. He has power, abilities, and just the will to remove the need for energy. He can provide it infinitely. And you see as his power corrupts his will, and through his vanity he fails to see some things. Things go wrong. You see this world, this fantastic world, torn asunder. People ripped atom from atom. The world fading and collapsing in upon itself. Destroyed. Let's see. And as these memories are overwhelming you, you need to make a will defense.
Hmm? Hmm. 11.
11, and you black out as more destruction and world of this world. Like, you're lost. You cannot escape your own mind. At the point when you come to, you know only that you've been down here for a long time, because now your second tank is half empty as you're pushing against this onslaught of memories of another life, of another being, something that is somehow tied to you, something that perhaps encountered your mother when she was in space with you before you were born. Some shred of it tied itself to you and is now pushing its way through your mind. You need another will defense.
17, so I get 26.
26, and you stop it. You push it back. You're able to gain control. The first thing you gain there is your energy control immunity. And you can feel this vessel that you're in that's being pulled by different forces start to rise. As if something was pulling it down from within you. has had to let go.
I guess I'll help myself up.
And as you get to the surface, you're able to you float up through the surface, and there's just sort of a black substance across the little window as it submerges above the water. Some oily substance on top of the water. As you're grasping out, and there's little fragments of things in your mind, things that you can pull on. You know you can do more.
I tried to think about it and see what I could do.
Pick another one of your powers.
I'll go ahead and take create.
Great. You're able to grasp the concept of using this gravity power to create insubstantial but existent constructs. And you're kind of sitting there grasping as you see out the window as the sort of capsule sort of drifts there, that there's some flaming oil rig. The sun is setting and there are boats showing up for rescue, trying to control the flames. And you see a boat coming up towards your capsule. You hear someone has stepped on the top of your capsule, and they're messing around on the outside. And you're being pulled up into this boat.
But I see a flaming boat. What?
Yeah, you see an oil rig, aflame. That. And you hear a voice. We're getting you out of here before you're caught. Sort of shout through. As you hear the chaos in the distance, and the boat is going away from the oil rig.
Oh. How far away is the oil rig?
500 feet, 800 feet, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I could potentially, I think, create an object far enough away to do something to that, since it's on fire.
You're moving away from it. You're able to help suppress some of the fire as you go.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do something in order to choke out the oxygen for the flames by smothering it with gravity power.
You help, but at this point, you are nearing the end of an exhausting day, and you still have bits peeking into your mind. Things that are trying to push through further phantom memories for this being you fought, this being that caused this world to turn into a singularity, this singularity that came through.
And now that I've got this to deal with, I wonder what I can do, since I wasn't able to mess with them last time. Just run.
You have more trying to push into your mind, while you have another crew that's some people. You can tell there's a few people on this boat, but they have you loaded onto the boat, and they're taking you presumably towards the shore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, best as I can, take a moment to recover while trying to keep the thoughts from the intrusive thoughts from taking.
And you hold them at bay while you're trying to relax. Trying to
take a meditation.
Get rid of take the moment, get rid of the staggered or whatever it is.
Yeah. A staggered condition. Because I got staggered and hindered was what happened to me.
It's hindered the -1.
-1 to movement.
Okay, it's then...
Yeah, I'm not sure what the toughness penalty is called.
Yeah, I think that's just a toughness penalty, so...
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then...
Yeah, hindered is move speed at -1 rank.
Sorry, just trying to still learn the words, so I might as well go look up the word that I meant to use then. No, staggered is the combined.
Yeah, dazed and hindered.
Dazed and hindered, yeah. So yeah, staggered is what you remove from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dazed.
Yeah, you remove that staggered as a whole, so it removes both of those.
Okay.
And then remove the other the -1 and the other, as you're still there, still foreign memories trying to push into your head. The boat at a certain point, you can kind of see the water drifting behind the boat. You're basically only able to see the trail behind the boat. And you can see as the fire is definitely being put out behind, and then other areas pop up from it as the oil that is spilling out from this rig.
The one I'm on?
No, the rig that was on fire.
Okay.
Is basically causing, whereas fire is put out, more of it, the oil is catching fire and just causing disaster behind you, but they're continuing to fight it as you drift away, and eventually the boat is leaving the area where the oil is spread, though continuing to spread.
Is there anywhere where that I could have put the oil? I guess not.
No, it's just out in the Gulf.
Well, maybe. I guess we'll have to figure out a way to deal with it. I don't think that I'd just be splashing it around at this point if I were to do something.
Yeah, as far as doing anything as you're trailing through it, there's.
It's like maybe later once we've got a place to collect the oil.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, technically I could use my create object in order to make like a, essentially like a scoop.
Yeah, I mean, you could remove a small quantity of it, but it seems to be poured out from a destructed oil rig.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of it.
Yeah, I think I need more support in order to do anything right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not sure who is taking you where. You are exhausted, and you have foreign memories trying to push in as you are seeming to heal from your battered, as you have like dried up blood underneath your torn and restitched suit, and healing quicker than anticipated, but still worn through.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and rest and wait until we get to shore.
And as you rest, sleep and dreams find you. And we're going to say that your -5 reduces to a -2. And as you have visions and powers and seeing this being before he was torn from the world and put into a single point in yours, where he had to stretch out from there, the things that he would and could do, and how, and you feel how, and you have your array of powers available to you.
I guess if I wake up, I'll go and check myself into the bathroom.
You wake up. There's a point of light bright above you, and your arms are restrained. Otherwise, the room is dark. You can't see anything but this single point that seems to probably be about 5 feet above you, shining right in at your eyes. You have a mask covering, restricting your breathing. You're tied. You're, I guess, handcuffed down. It's a weighted blanket sort of laying over you. There's occasional beep. Beep. You have something stuck aside your neck and down your arm, over your heart. Monitors. Those you're familiar with. And then a voice. What you did was rather disastrous there.
What?
People died, you know. They're not going to like it if they find you. What did you do to cause that? This appears to be...
And from the ISS, there was an accident.
Really? Well, your capsule might be explained by that, but I don't believe that capsule was designed for orbital re-entry, especially not in the condition it's in. It looks like it's been sewed back together.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
The station was damaged by an unknown anomaly.
Anomaly, you say? And you're the only one that's come crashing down?
Another member of the crew was on board, but died during the accident.
Unfortunate. Who?
Adam.
Yes. Never heard of him. Is he permanent member on the International Space Station?
What agency are you with?
I'm the one asking questions here, and you feel a shock over your heart as electricity has just been put into you. So we are going to cooperate, as you are the one that appears to be a terrorist. You've cost lives.
What was my political motivation?
Fear, destruction, something environmental, I suppose, trying to prove that oil mining is bad. Could be whatever. What was it? What would you say? As sort of a shape that you only see in silhouette comes by, and a pair of glasses just sort of alight, very anime style.
Do I have access to all of my abilities, or just the stuff in my array?
You have access to all of your powers on your list. You have a -2 on whatever related things you're using at this point. Is really the only downside compared to to normal.
But I've got the memories of how the powers are used.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like you've basically, through whatever travel, because it seems that you do not feel like you are on a boat anymore.
Yeah.
They have taken you somewhere inland, and you're in some facility. From the talking, it's a large, tall room, solid walls, not a whole lot of clutter in it, very echoey. But
I'd say to the man, it's if you give me a bit of information about where I am and who you are, it would be to your benefit.
make a persuasion check. Well, you can call me Mr. Calypso.
Not doctor.
No, are you a doctor?
No, I only got my associates before going on space travel.
Well, then I feel not worth belittling others who haven't bothered with such pointless expenses, really.
So, what are you? Independent? Do you actually work for anybody?
I do, and I think you will find out more about them at a later point. I'm simply gathering information. How did you live? You should be dead.
Certainly it was an act of God.
Hard to believe such a thing, isn't it?
Well, I don't have an explanation for it. Certainly nothing that I have anything but the fates to thank.
Very well. And we'll talk later. The air through your mask starts getting thin.
Can I do something?
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously physically restrained, but yeah, it feels as if you're getting a little lightheaded.
I use a move action in order to turn myself into gravitons.
So what a power are you using?
I'm using insubstantial 3.
Okay.
To try to slip myself out of the restraints by turning into my energy form.
Yeah, so I guess you fall down to the ground around this table and restraints.
And I'm going to try to book it.
And so you then see something now with a little more perception, not having the light blaring to blind you in the eyes, but you're still adjusting to the dark room. It is a large, cylindrical room. You seem to be basically at a little medical bed in the middle, as this Mr. Calypso is walking away from you when you stand up to think where to book it. Do you book it towards him, away from him?
So I'm whatever in a cylinder, but I'm in a room.
Yeah.
Air ducts.
Okay.
Go for the ventilation system.
Okay. Do you have the ability to fly?
Yes.
Okay.
I can both fly and I can phase through anything that basically doesn't specifically block me. And you have immunity to physical damage, energy attacks other than the energy form that you're making up to which you have immunity, damage you normally. You can pass through solid objects permeable to your type of energy, but energy-resistant barriers like heavy shielding, force fields block your movement.
Lock it down. That was an interesting trick you did there. Come back round. Yep.
So I go ahead and start passing through the solid walls of this place as best as I can to try to find a way up and out. flight 7, 250 miles.
No, the part I'm trying to then assess is pass through solid objects permeable to your type of energy.
Which is gravity.
Science.
Yes.
Because if I think of gravity does not generally pull an object through another solid object. It definitely feels like it goes towards the core of the planet, that you could definitely use it to go down.
I can do that then. I can gravity slip downwards into the planet and then make my way back out.
Well, how do you then make your way back out?
By flying while being insubstantial. If you want, I can gravity sling my shot through the planet.
So you, start... Okay, so you're... It's like type of energy going down, but then flying is against the gravity.
Mm-hmm. So I have both of them, so I can do both.
Does your flight affect insubstantial?
Yeah, it works. Yep, I can use them both at the same time. No problem. They are actually paid for separately.
You make your way down until you do find... You would guess yourself to probably be about 10 feet below the surface, still within a solid concrete block. And you find a gap. And you find a field that you cannot pass.
So I find a field that I can't pass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to use disintegration on it.
Like it's an energy.
Yeah, I can still weaken it though. It's still an object or something. I've got one of my alternate effects is disintegration, which affects objects with the weaken.
Is weaken a...
Weaken toughness is what disintegrate does. It's a range affects objects weaken toughness. Toughness 8. So I can reduce the toughness of the barrier by 8.
Okay.
And I'll continue to do that until I disintegrate through the barrier.
It does. I mean, it does not seem to be affecting the barrier.
Okay. I'll have to find a different way out then.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go looking for a different place that I can try to slip out of.
Okay. What do you just...
Yeah, I'll fly around within the solid objects of the facility until I find a place where the barrier doesn't exist.
You find an outer edge on a wall where they meet, and it seems to be matching this cylinder, this cylindrical shape. You're at the base of like the side of now a cylinder.
I've got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So the barrier is obviously being powered by something. I'm going to go and look for where the generator is for this place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go searching for that, and then I can destroy that in order to get rid of the barrier.
Okay. They're like, would it be survival? Would it be investigate? What would... You're trying to find it. What are...
Yeah, I got investigation.
Yes, you can investigate for that.
Alright. So, 24.
Yeah, you're able to deduct from where it is that somehow these are force, like basically some sort of energy force field that is being projected, and that they pass through each other. And that the generator producing them is outside of their range.
Okay.
You can make an intelligence check.
20.
You can also deduce that there must be a way that they can be turned off if someone can get in and out. That this Mr. Calypso said to lock things down as you were fleeing, but he has some communication with the outside.
Well, if radio waves could possibly get through, then there might be a way for me to get through.
Maybe he sent the message before it was locked down.
Well, there's probably still a way that they can communicate while it's in its lockdown state. So, I guess if there's not a generator here, maybe they have a essentially like a hard line that's got a gap where the barrier would be. So, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and check to see, because they're probably going to be running like Ethernet cables or phone lines or something along those lines into this facility, because there's computers and stuff in here. I'll go ahead and look for the...
I mean, there are, like, the bottom of the concrete slab where you'd met. It's not like there aren't physical things that are passing through it. You are insubstantial. The field is going through those physical objects.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then I go ahead and find a... so there's physical objects that are passing through the barrier on the underground part of it, but when I'm insubstantial, it's blocking me.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll do then is I'll go into a unoccupied room that seems safe as best as I can guess. Then I'll go ahead and disintegrate through the floor to get past the barrier, and then turn insubstantial on the other side. After I get far enough down to get past that area where the barrier's erected.
While you have some back and forth with Mr. Calypso, this barrier seems to be about 10 foot out from this cylindrical 30-foot diameter room. It is 30 feet, or probably about 40 feet tall. And it seems that that there is a ladder on one side that ascends out of it, and that otherwise it is some sort of underground vault. That there is one little tunnel to climb up through to trapdoor up above. This barrier is now cutting, and Mr. Calypso just sitting, like holding on, the base, near the base of the ladder itself, waiting for when you pass back into the room, seeming patient. Otherwise, there are no other chambers within this cutoff bit.
I can see him, right?
Yes.
Can I fling something at him to try to knock him out?
Well, you could certainly try. And as you pass through the room, you're not making a great case for not being a terrorist.
You're not making a great case for not being a bunch of kidnappers.
We saved you.
Is this how you save people? By locking them up in straitjackets?
If need be. It's not unusual.
But it was your first option, wasn't it?
If one needs to be committed because they are dangerous to themselves and to others, it's still a rescue.
Yeah, I think I'm good without your brand of help. Just let me out of here.
You're too dangerous. Work with us, Will.
Uh-huh.
We'll get through it.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and use my create object in order to give myself concealment from him so he can't see me anymore.
What objects, what does your create object make?
Either solidified gravity barriers, or if I have something that could be potentially...
Gravity is not opaque.
If I could essentially have physical objects that I could lift up in its place as a created object, more or less that.
Yeah, moving things around as you're...
Yeah, but using create object to do it. So I create essentially like a solid wall of objects in the area that I can pick up and put in his way.
Okay.
So now he can't see me. But I need to figure out a way to essentially punch past this barrier. Thinking about, so I've got my ability to sense energy. Maybe I can use that as a way of figuring out where a opportune place to try to get out of this would be.
That is largely about sensing others with your... They are using that kind of energy of manipulation.
Okay.
You start hearing sort of a scraping metal sound from up high in the thing. You can't see from the other side of the barrier you've created.
Yeah. So, say I can weaken the ground and then just start firing.
And you hear a large metallic clatter.
Yeah. I get, and I think my current best option is just to try to drill through the ground to get past the barrier, since physical objects can pass through it. If I can essentially switch back to my physical form and then go through it, I should probably be able to get past it based off what I know about it.
Do you have any form of life support power?
No, I don't have any suffocation immunity.
Because the air in the room is now being gassed.
Yeah, I don't have anything that prevents that outside of just moving the gas back out of the room.
Yeah.
And I can't see
because
it.
the feeling that you had with your mask before is now just starting to be felt throughout the room as a whole.
Do I see any of the vents and stuff that they're pumping the gas through?
You did not see any vents when you were going about the facility. Right now you can't really see in the room because I'm assuming you're off on one side far from him and you've basically pulled some things up and thrown.
Yeah. Well, if I can't figure out a way to block any of the gas...
You know that you could go into the solid ground to effectively get out of the gas, but...
Yeah. I guess I can do that. I can hold my take a deep breath and then go into the ground. But yeah, I gotta figure out a way to essentially disintegrate through the ground and then use blasts. Use energy blasts in order to try to punch through it. To create essentially... I could make a hole for myself, right? In the solid ground.
I mean, potentially, yeah.
Yeah. Say if I could make a area that's essentially a makeshift hole that wouldn't have to deal with the gas, I could create an air pocket for myself.
No, the difficulty would be to get that started without going into the area with the gas. Because while doing it while still just completely into the ground is not impossible, it would just break up and it would still all be occupying the same space.
Yeah. So
you'd basically still have to break it to the open area in order to...
Yeah, because it wouldn't make the actual concrete or anything go away. Yeah, I guess I'll start working on that. It's like dig myself a hole and then I can cover it back up.
You leave back into the ground, but you did not see Mr. Calypso in the room any longer, and you notice the ladder is on the ground. But you leave to try and basically start breaking up areas of the ground, maybe that when you do break it free to try and, deal with the gas quickly, that you can have most of the ground inside broken up and quickly try and deal with it, but that takes quite some time. And we're going to call it there. As you're trapped in this weird underground facility. And you receive 1 PowerPoint. And the idea is we'll have a little different array of who's involved next time. When we return. So join us next time for more Order of Heroes. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think as you go, and if you've played Mutants and Masterminds and have advice, quick ways to remember things, feel free to recommend it. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.